Hello and welcome. My name's Richard. I'm an account executive for Secunia in our Minneapolis office.
Hi, my name is Milan and I work as a solution specialist at Secunia.
Secunia has been an active member of the IT security community for over 10 years now. The company began when a group of IT professionals came together to produce a vulnerability database. This is in response to all other publicly accessible sources of vulnerability intelligence being purchased and privatized. The database, which is still free to all on our website, has grown to cover over 40,000 products from over 5,000 vendors, and is still the world's most complete vulnerability intelligence database. We have been continuously recognized by various groups around the world for our research contributions to IT security, and are trusted advisors to organizations relied upon by the community at large. This includes the Common Vulnerabilities and Exposure Boards, and over 30 of the world's computer emergency readiness teams. Our award-winning patch management solution, the Corporate Software Inspector, will integrate with your current infrastructure, such as SCCM or WSUS from Microsoft, Altiris from Symantec, or any other deployment mechanism for that matter. We've recently taken this a step further with SCCM to have our Secunia package system plugged directly into the SCCM console, and we can take advantage of the SCCM agents to complete our scanning. This will give you the power to discover where you're vulnerable to attack and an efficient means to remediate the threats as they arise. Through strong relationships with other providers, we have become the recommended choice for third-party vulnerability patching. Okay, so here we have the Corporate Software Inspector, the Secunia CSI. So this console is really going to bring together your whole, all your different platforms across your network to give you a centralized view and the ability to patch your whole network. So we're covering all Windows, Mac, and Linux Red Hat operating systems, whether they be desktops, laptops, servers, or even if people aren't connected to your network, if they're home users or laptop users, anything like that. So this dashboard really giving you a quick look into how your networks are looking at the moment, what the security status is. These elements are interchangeable, and you can really customize this to give you a view of whatever it is that you find important that you want to keep a track of at all times. So we'd have something pretty similar all the time though, the latest advisories affecting our software, the most prevalent insecure applications, and also most critical advisories affecting our applications. And I suppose Java's been pretty topical recently, again with an extremely critical vulnerability out there, and we can quickly see here that it is affecting our networks, and we can jump into the installations and quickly find out exactly which machines it is that these insecure applications are installed on. But this dashboard can be exported as a static URL and shared with anyone else around the organization too, so they can paste that into any web browser, see the same data that you are, and you can discuss whatever needs to be done on that too. But I suppose the first bit to this application, where we get this information from, is really the scanning engine.
Yeah, so the CSI console, just as a background information, actually is a thin client. It's a 2 megabyte installation, and it runs on virtually all Microsoft client and server operating systems. The way we identify vulnerabilities on your endpoints is through a file signature scan. So we scan for OCX, DLL, and EXE files, and we read out the meta information of the headers of those files and then cross-reference that with our comprehensive vulnerability database. At this point, we're covering over 18,000 software products of over 2,500 vendors. The way we scan allows us to pretty much eliminate false positives, because we're not looking at the registry or programs list. We're really looking at your file system and what's actually installed on your endpoints. So let me talk a little bit about the different scan methods CSI offers you. We have a quick scan, which is basically a remote scanner you can run from within the console. I'm able to target hosts by IP address ranges or list of host names. You can also create scan groups and define subnets. Another remote scanner, network scanner, is the remote scanning via agent. Instead of using the console to scan my endpoints through a network, I can utilize an agent. And this agent can be installed on a remote network, an offsite branch, for example. All this agent needs is internet access, and then I'm able to remotely control this agent with this console here. most commonly used scan method is through our single host agent. That agent would be deployed such as a Microsoft update on your endpoint. It's then being installed as a local service. It is completely inactive until an actual scan is being executed on the host. Also interesting and new in CSI 6 is our ability to now tap into your SCCM 2007 or 2012. We're able to modify the SCCM agent to collect the software inventory information we need to cross-reference it with our BI database to identify the vulnerabilities on the endpoints. And that then eliminates pretty much the need of utilizing one of our scan methods or our agent to scan your endpoints. Another interesting aspect of scanning and patching is our PSI integration. What I can do with the PSI integration is I can configure a link ID and create my own PSI installer. I can install this PSI, the standalone scanner and patching tool, on laptops, home desktop PCs and so forth. Once those machines scan, they will check back into the Secunia cloud, and then the results will then be correlated within your console. And this agent also retrieves its updates directly from the internet. So even they're outside of your network and SCCM WSUS reach, you still be able to track and patch those hosts as well.
Okay, so once the hosts are being scanned and checking back in here, we can see the results, which are all correlated in this tab here. So each machine will check in and you'll have a view of each individual machine if that's how you'd like to see the results. And these can be synced to your Active Directories. So keeping the same organizational units that you already have configured, and you can see the results under those units. So each machine will check in, and each machine will have a page just like this. So importantly, letting you know when the last scan was and what the system score is. So system score being the number of vulnerable applications divided by the total applications installed. And again, you'll see the number of vulnerabilities within the installed applications and how many insecure applications actually require patching. From this point too, we can see the total inventory installed in each endpoint. So as you'll see here, we are focusing on third-party patching, but we do also report on all the Microsoft applications as well to make sure that they're secure and you're aware of what the security status of them. So here, I guess, like a number of systems out there recently, we can see that Java is insecure on this system as well. And we're giving it an extremely critical rating. So anything highly critical, extremely critical, basically means that end users don't require any interaction whatsoever for a hacker to actually be able to exploit the vulnerabilities in this program and take control of their endpoint. So we give you the criticality rating here. We'll let you know exactly how many days it's been since the discovery of this vulnerability, and how many vulnerabilities are within the application itself. Also the file path this application is installed on, again making it possible for you to verify this program is actually installed and avoid false results. We also provide the SAID, or the Secunia Advisory ID, and this will give you all the information required about the vulnerability itself. So typically the impact of a successful hack of these vulnerabilities and where a hacker could do that from. And again, in extremely and highly critical cases, usually the same vectors, that a hacker could get full system access and do this from a remote location. We then cross-reference the CVE references here and give you a description of the vulnerabilities themselves, and if there's any reported cases out in the wild of hackers exploiting these vulnerabilities. As I said here though, we can see all these results either from a host by host view, or we can drill down and see full inventory of what's installed on all your endpoints, just the insecure applications, or the end-of-life applications that vendors are no longer supporting. We also do split these categories from programs and operating systems, again making it possible to track your operating systems to ensure that they are secure, but also helping with any migrations that may take place to newer operating systems. We also have smart groups here to make sure that you're alerted to anything that's particularly important to you. If you want to make sure that you know, for example, PCI compliance says that highly critical vulnerabilities need to be patched within a 30-day window, we can alert you via text message or email to track these vulnerabilities as they are within your systems to make sure that you're never caught unaware and uncompliant without you having knowledge of it first. But so now we know what's vulnerable. Of course, we'd like to patch it.
So Secunia came up with its own packaging system, and instead of feeding our solutions with catalog files like most other vendors out there do, we actually align with the scan results. Again, the coverage and the comprehensiveness of our vulnerability database allows us to create patches for not only the top 10 violators, but all vulnerabilities found in your environment. I want to show you how to create an update in CSI. So I'm going to mark an application I haven't created a patch for, which is marked blue, and then I do a right click and say create update package. This opens up the SPS packaging wizard. Step 1 provides us with the update name. I can also add or remove information here if I wanted to. We have optional fields which I can use to add additional information as well. That can be very helpful if I, for example, want to categorize my updates within SCCM. Actually, in step 2, which is an optional step, I can show you how we actually install the package. So as you can see here in JScript, we provided the installation script. We fill in the variables for the update name, the GUID, and silent and unattended install parameters. We also link directly to the binary file. So there's nothing you have to do to it, especially people using or have used SCUP or similar tools in the past. They probably appreciate the ease of creating packages with this wizard here. But it was important for us to give the programmers and coders out there still the possibility to go in here and make changes to it. You also have the capability of switching to Visual Basic Script or PowerShell. And again, you're also able to actually remove this binary file and replace it with your own customized binary. In step 2, you see a path to the insecure installation. This path will be added as an applicability rule to the package. So when you deploy it to all of your thousands, 10,000 of hosts, this package will only be applied to hosts where it's actually needed. Pretty much the same way your Microsoft updates are handled these days. The last step here is, again, provides you a few optional functions. You can filter by CPU architecture. You're able to reinforce reboots, which we natively removed from third-party patches. And then I can choose how I want to deploy my package. In this case, WSUS for WSUS deployment or for SCCM deployment. Once I click publish, this package is being cached here on the local machine, then being uploaded, combined with the installation script to my WSUS server, where it's then permanently stored either for SCCM to pick up or for deployment to my endpoints. So once I have it on my WSUS server, I can go into my SCCM, and then under software updates, I'll then be able to actually find my Secunia patches and then deploy them to my endpoints like any other Microsoft update. And what we also created for version 6 is our Secunia plugin for SCCM. So as you can see, this is the same list I have in the packaging wizard in the CSI console. This plugin then really eliminates the need of utilizing the CSI console. You can create the updates right within SCCM and leverage them and deploy them without actually going back to the CSI console.
So last but not least, of course, there's the reporting elements to this tool, which I'll briefly touch on. Again, we saw the dashboard earlier, which can, as we said, be exported and shared with anyone else that needs to see the information. We provide you with a change summary, just an automatic alert to let you know exactly what's been added or taken away to the network. And then we have an extensive report configuration here. The idea being that we configure this once to extract the data that's required, and then set a schedule. So this will happen automatically and be emailed or downloadable within the console itself, So you can provide that to any stakeholders that need to see vulnerability data, whether that be auditors or outside compliance regulatory bodies, on a scheduled basis. So once a quarter, once every half year, once a year, whatever it may be. We also, as I touched on earlier, have the smart group notifications, so we can alert you to if there's particular problem areas of your network that you want to keep a track of, high-risk groups or high-risk applications that you want to be especially alerted to. And then we provide a local database console here, so you can really drill down into the API, query it through SQL, and export that data to any other reporting tool. So I mean, people are typically doing this with Archer or ArcSight, something like that, but the information is exportable on a schedule and basically for any other file format need be to integrate it to other reporting tools. But so the key takeaways, I guess, where we really see the Corporate Software Inspector by Secunia sitting, is that we're bringing together the market-leading vulnerability intelligence with the best patching mechanism in the market. We see others, there's plenty of good security companies out there, and there are other good patching companies out there too, but we're the only ones really bringing together both vulnerability intelligence and the ability to patch the 15,000 odd applications so seamlessly. And through integration to SCCM, WSUS or any other deployment tool, this becomes very easy and a very simple process. So if you have any questions or would like a free trial, please feel free to contact us at any time. You can call us directly at the Minneapolis here, get us at sales@secunia.com. We look forward to hearing from you and of course hopefully working with you in the not too distant future.
Thank you very much and stay secure.